Hi everybody, welcome to Simply Scuba. In today's video, we're going to be taking a closer look at the Aqualung Women's Rogue BCD. So this is a slightly different version of the Rogue. The only main differences are cosmetic. You can already see that it's white with kind of pink details on it. Otherwise, it's very much the same, but the Rogue is a modular BCD, so you can chop and change and have different sized sort of shoulder straps. They're all detachable. You can break it all down so it packs down really nice and flat. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so this is how it arrives in a nice cardboard box, very eco-friendly. Aqualung on the top, buoyancy compensator Aqualung on the side. You got the serial number on the top. That's about it as far as the box. Let's see what we get inside of the box. Now the first Rogue that came out was some assembly required, so I'll imagine, lots of separate parts. So first thing we get is integrated weight pockets, so modular. So these use, mod lock systems. You can click them in if you want them. If you want to save weight, because a few grams to travel, then you don't want integrated weight system, then you don't have to fit them. That's the glory of the Rogue. Next thing is the waistband of the Rogue. So this is the women's Rogue. So you're starting to see everything's got that kind of white and pink coloration to it. I'll show you each of these parts sort of in greater detail in a moment. Each individually wrapped in plastic bags, which I'm not a huge fan of, but because it's a modular BCD, you can buy the individual components. So shoulder straps, so the two of, and then we get the bladder. Now the bladder, as far as I can tell, is exactly the same as the unisex men's version, the black version. Same bladder. It's just in the rest of the details where you get that white pink coloration. The back pad, sort of padded. And all these sort of mod locks. So this is like the central piece that everything then attaches to it. Incredibly lightweight, but you still have a decent amount of sort of padding. And that's it in the box. So I'm just going to assemble it quickly, and then I'll show you the BCD in greater detail in a moment. Okay, so starting at the top of the BCD, over your left-hand shoulder, you have a traditional Aqualung corrugated hose that leads down to their inflator. So very easy to use. You've got the purge valve at the bottom and then the inflation valve sort of halfway down. The oil inflation valve as well. Comes with a BCD hose, so you can attach that to your regulators. It's a braided hose, so it's nice and light. And it sort of naturally sits inside the corrugated hose. Most corrugated hoses are just a simple hose, whereas the Aqualung one kind of molds around and sort of makes it a bit more streamlined. If you grab hold of the inflator and pull that down over your left-hand shoulder, it actually vents out of the top. There's a little cable on the inside of that corrugated hose that attaches to the sort of section up around your shoulder. So if you're on the surface, head upright, and you just pull it downwards, that's a really quick way to vent gas instead of trying to sort of lift it up to the highest point. So that's a really quick way to begin a dive. Moving down from that, padded shoulder straps, and this kind of mesh shoulder strap, nice and light, very airy, so in between dives it's going to dry out very quickly, but it also adds padding, so your BCD shoulder straps aren't going to be digging into your shoulders. Underneath the corrugated hose, you have this pre-bent metal D-ring, so you can clip things off onto that. It's pre-bent, so the bottom just kind of lifts away from that shoulder strap, so you can get a bolt snap or something onto that pretty easily. Moving across to the right-hand side, we have a chest strap all the way across your chest. You can adjust that as well, and you have the pinch clip to undo that. Just holds those shoulder straps together in position in front of you. On the right-hand shoulder strap, you have this kind of daisy chain-like material. So instead of sort of lots of multiple D-rings, you have much lighter material, but you can still attach things and clip things off onto that. You also have a pull dump for going over your right-hand shoulder. When I turn it around, you'll see there's a low-profile dump valve on your right-hand shoulder. If you give that a little tug, that's another way to vent gas. You also have another pre-bent stainless steel metal D-ring on your right-hand shoulder strap, again, so you can clip things off onto that. And then lower down, these joints, these naturally hinge and move around, which is quite nice compared to a traditional just straight pinch clip. It makes it more ergonomic, so that shoulder strap naturally kind of tucks away around your body. But if you push the sort of logo in the center, that's how you can undo these straps. And then you just put it back in to clip it. So very quick and easy to adjust that. Plastic D-ring, just so you can adjust those shoulder straps, tighten them up. You can also sort of remove this strap. Everything about this is modular, so you see each of these sort of separate sort of parts. You can start to remove it and disassemble it, so when you're packing it away or when you're traveling with it, instead of the entire thing fully assembled, you can just kind of move just that section. It is very, very modular. Moving down the back plate, lots of padding, again nice and soft, and this is fully flexible as well, so again when you're packing it, very easy to pack it away. On your waist, you do have a couple little sections of webbing just in here. These are hinged as well, so they naturally kind of sit in a comfortable position, but you've got a couple sort of sections where you can attach things to that, one upper, one lower, and then you have another metal D-ring just down in kind of in your hip. On your right hand side, you have this kind of pouch which kind of sits, and this is for your octo, so you can get the hose, you can bend that and then pop it through there. That way your second stage, your alternate, just sits on your hip. If you grab hold of that, you can deploy it to your buddy if they need to, very quickly and easily without the need for clips or anything complicated. Underneath that, you have a section of Velcro, which then reveals a drop-down pocket. So this is just in case you need to. It bellows out, so actually plenty of space for a spool and maybe even a DSMB. But if you find something in the water, some kind of ghost gear or something, you want to sort of remove it, you do have a pocket, and there's a section of mesh down at the bottom so that you can remove it. You also have a little anchor points just in here, so you can attach things. If you've got a torch or something you want to look after it, you can attach the lanyard onto that way it's never going to fall out of the pocket, and even if it does fall out of the pocket, it's still attached to you. Fold that away. Across your front, you have a two-way adjustable pinch clip waistband, and then on the left hand sort of waistband, you have these two little grommets for your dive knife. So an Aqualung BCD integrated dive knife, you can bolt it onto that. Also Velcroed, you have another one of those drop-down pockets. Same as on the sort of right-hand side, you still have that attachment loop sort of mesh down at the bottom. So yeah, if you need a pocket on your left-hand side as well, you've got that there. Just turning it halfway round, just so you can see the side of the BCD. So here we have our integrated weights. So the weights themselves are actually mounted vertically. So the pull handle is down at the lowest point. So this is a bit of a gravity assist. So if you yank down on that little handle, then the internal pouch is going to be able to be ditched. If you don't want this, you can not fit it, or you can remove it. If you need some more lead underneath, on the inside here, you have more attachment points for a trim weight pouch to be attached as an optional extra. On the wing itself, you'll see we have these sort of sections of elasticated webbing. So if I deflate the BCD, you'll start to see it kind of pull itself in. So that's how it naturally kind of helps to keep it nice and neat and tidy when you're in the water, so you don't have all of this material just kind of like flapping around in the water. The more and more you deflate it, the more that sort of elasticated webbing just pulls it in and keeps it nice and neat and tidy. As far as the shape of the wing, So this has very limited sort of buoyancy up around the shoulders because you don't want it up there. You actually want it lower down here so that you can get a nice position in the water. So you'll see very sort of light amount of bladder up here, but then big and bulbous down towards the bottom at either side of your tank. So that helps you hold that correct trim position in the water, but it also helps to cradle your diving cylinder when that's straight down in the middle. These two lobes kind of hug it and hold it in the right position so it doesn't twist or turn on your back. Starting up over your left-hand shoulder, so this is that pull dump that I mentioned at the beginning. So that's where that's going to vent out of. This is your BCD hose. Over your right-hand shoulder, low-profile valve. So if you're swimming in overhead environments, there's not too much kind of sticking out your BCD to get caught on at the top. Down at the center, you have a little grab handle, so you can grab onto the BCD and move it around. Further down, you get your cam bands. So this is the Aqualung grip lock cam bands, which I very much like. It's a two-part cam band. Instead of having to re-thread it and get it to the right length, this is two-part buckle, which you basically size up with Velcro when you first get it, and then you can just wrap that around your tank. You just hook this sort of in position, and then you clamp it down, and you notice it stops just before it clamps completely. That's your finger saver device. So you attach it onto the tank. Instead of it just going clamp and trapping your fingers or pinching something, it just pauses for a moment, gives you a chance to get all your fingers out of the way, and then you push on it to lock it down in position. On the inside, I'll just show you quickly, it's got a little section of rubber, and that helps just to add extra bit of grip. So when it's on your tank, it really does hold it in the right position and stops it from sliding around. Down on your right hand kidney, on the outside, you have another one of these low profile dump valves, kidney dump, with a little toggle down at the bottom. So if you're inverted, you're swimming downwards, you need to dump some gas, you give a tug on that and it's going to vent out of there. Okay, so that's the Aqualung Women's Rogue BCD. Pretty much the same as the unisex like black version, except with white and pink details. If you're not a white and pink sort of girly type girl, then you've always got the black version. This one is just, yeah, nice bright white, which will help you sort of stand out on the dive site. I don't know how easy it will be to keep it clean. I imagine after sort of a lot of dives, I'll be washing this down quite thoroughly to keep it as pristine as possible. But far more details on our website, simplyscuba.com. If you want to check it out, there's going to be a link down in the description below. Thank you for watching, and of course, safe diving.